From a personal perspective, I know firsthand what student success is all about. I myself was an independent minor, independent from my parents, not sure how I was going to make it, and I made my way through the halls of a community college. It was through dual enrollment course in which I found that transition. I was very nervous, wasn't really sure if I could afford college, did not exactly know what I was going to do, and found that transition gave me this opportunity. I got the access, I got the support that I needed, and I got a pathway to possibility. So student success is of primary importance. That is a part of what our mission is. We want our students to complete, to graduate. We want them then to transfer. Fresno State is our primary feeder institution for our graduates, and we know that if they can graduate from community college at Greeley College, then we know when they transfer onto Fresno State, they have a very high graduation rate. So we know that that pathway is successful. The key then is having them make it through those first 2 years to graduate and then to successfully transfer. When we look at those, that level of expertise from Dr. Vincent Tinto, it's primary importance that the institutions focus on those areas for student completion. Focusing on the student engagement, having them academically prepared, and having them on a pathway for success, we know are the key elements. So putting in those policies, those practices, the implementation is critically important. So this summit could not be at a better time when here we are focused on student success, we're focused on student equity. So not only are we trying to move the needle, we're trying to close that gap. So perfect timing, perfect opportunity so that we can raise that level of success, increase that completion rate, and have successful transfer. And ultimately, that's going to translate into more graduates from Greeley College and more graduates at Fresno State.
Recently, I was with a group of colleagues at Apple headquarters in Cupertino. And we had an opportunity to talk amongst ourselves, but also to interact with some of their vice presidents and professional staff. And one of the things that was interesting to me with respect to our approach to student success is kind of where we're at right now in higher education and in America right now with respect to where technology is. And they put a graph up that talked a little bit about, you know, this wave of technology and kind of had two bell curves, if you would, and they kind of superimposed those bell curves upon one another. And we're kind of right in the middle of two bell curves. And for me, it was analogous to the time in our history in America when did we get rid of the horses and make room for cars? There was a transition there. And it's kind of where we're at now. We're in this transition stage of about 20 or 30 years now where we're moving from a very didactic approach of learning and teaching and service that we provide students to a very technology-enhanced area. And right now there's a lot of pro and con, as you would expect in a transitionary period in the United States, around the topic of student success and how do students succeed and how do students learn. And I think we're fortunate to be in that transitionary stage because I think it's going to look totally different 20 or 30 years from now. Our focus on student success has to be relentless. And that's a vision that we have at West Hills, which is it's a relentless focus on student success. No longer are we requiring counselors or advisors to go out to high schools and just talk to students. We want to know who you're talking to, and we want to know what the response was, and we want to be able to follow up with that student, and we want you to go back next week and talk to some more students, not just a general assembly where you roll out a blanket and put brochures on the table and give out candy bars or trinkets to somebody who walks by and picks up a brochure. Student success begins with really engaging the student early on, middle school and beyond, no question about it. I think it's really important, and I think it's one of the reasons why we have to change our approach. We can't do it by ourselves, we have to do it in partnership, and particularly in the Valley. The more we can do and really focus relentlessly on doing that and begin to look at these students in the Valley as our students and how could we get them there, what's the best way to facilitate that, That's really important.
Here at Fresno Unified, we are driven by 4 key district goals that are very easy to state and frankly quite difficult to achieve. Number 1, all of our students will excel at reading, writing, and math. Number 2, all of our students will engage in the arts, activities, and athletics. Number 3, all students will demonstrate character and competencies for workplace success. All of those have to work in concert in order for goal 4 to come into play, and that is that all students will stay in school on target to graduate. We know that in order for these goals to be met, our students must be engaged in the classroom and active contributors to their own learning success. Through our partnership with Fresno State, and they take many forms, we are finding more ways to help our students connect with their daily learning. Just this year, for example, with the support, deep support, from Fresno State's Lyle Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we began our Kids Invent program, bringing science to life for every district 5th grade classroom. It's designed in part to help teachers create interactive lesson plans. Students are given simple tools and a problem, and by working together with classmates, students are building critical thinking skills and inspiring innovation through teamwork. It is a sight to behold and a hit throughout the district. We have worked very closely with Fresno State to make sure district students interested in pursuing postgraduate education have access to resources, including orientation and pre-admission testing opportunities, for example. Just in the last few years, for example, we went from just about 1,000 students who had applied to CSU Fresno to last year almost 2,000, 1,999, a dramatic increase in about a 5-year period. It is because of the Fresno State partnership that those students are matriculating at Fresno State. Over the last few years, we've also developed our leadership preparation program. The people who become our school site vice principals, principals, district office leaders, we've had that in place now for almost a decade. We also piloted a teacher residency program that is focused on developing teachers in grades 4 through 8 in the high demand areas of science, technology, engineering, and math, with a special focus on English language acquisition. With the help of partners like Fresno State, we're making changes in the classroom with the goal that our students will be successful and ready for college and career. Enjoy your day of learning, and thank you, Fresno State, for being the advocate for our district's youth and their teachers. Our valley is better off for this.